What's going on, guys? It's Nick from DMG Lacrosse, and just wanted to talk to you guys about a few things today. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying their Sunday. I know a lot of football has been going on, and trust me, I'm enjoying the Patriots. I think they won, what was it, 50 to something? I mean, when was the last time they ever scored 50 points? Jeez, 5 touchdowns by Brady. Jeez, that was something that I did not expect to happen, but it happened. But I don't know what's gonna fare out when they play the Broncos next week. That's if it ends up to a shootout. I'm guessing it's probably going to be in the 20s to 30s for each team. But a lot of excitement, and so I'm just going to hit to the first topic, which is shipping as far as DMG Mesh. I know a lot of you guys that follow me on Instagram probably saw the post that I did, and maybe have read some feedback, and you've brought to my attention, which obviously I always say, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, negative or positive, to come to me with them. And I didn't realize that the shipping was going to be a little bit of an issue. The way when I set my website up, and I do apologize if some people do see that sometimes maybe 8 or 650 is a little bit high if somebody's just purchasing one piece of mesh. I know, trust me, I've seen stuff come in for much less, and I guess just the way that I've always worked it was I've gone down to the post office myself. I know a lot of guys do it online, which I'm not really knowledgeable into that type of stuff. I'm looking into it, which is going to fix this whole shipping problem. So I guess what I can say about it is, when I go down to the post office for everybody's package, I guess the perks of what you were getting before was priority flat rate, which was $6.50. And I thought to myself when I started the website, I said, well, I don't know if somebody's gonna buy 1 or 5 or 10, and I've gotten all kinds of those numbers now and in the past, and I've always kept the shipping at one rate, so that it never changes, or it never did change, no matter if you bought something that I actually had to pay a little bit more. But down at the post office where I go, they only had 2 options as far as priority: using the bag or using the envelope. Both of them are $6.50, and I believe the other one sometimes goes by weight, so if I was going to send something else to a different zone, it would be a little bit more expensive. So I figured priority was the best way to go. You get $50 free insurance, you get 2 to 3 day guaranteed delivery, as opposed to first class, which I'll touch on in a second. And what I do, if you have purchased mesh from me in the past, is that not only do I tell you that the package is going out, but I'll take a photograph with my phone of the package, of me putting the stuff next to the label, and when it has a stamp on it as the lady is taking it, so that you can see the tracking and everything else, and I send that through an email to you, and usually everyone says, thank you, I appreciate it, you didn't have to do that. So I thought nothing, no type of problem. But I came into an issue where I had a customer say, I want to buy one piece of an Argyle piece, and I don't think it's worth it to spend what it was, $8. Now it's down to $6.50, $8 for shipping. And I thought to myself, yeah, I guess that's the way too, but I didn't think there was really any other way I could do it, because I don't own my own envelopes or stuff that some of the more established companies own and use for their shipping methods. I know when I first started DMG Lacrosse, I was sending everything in pamphlets and still using priority. And they always asked me, do you want to add tracking? Do you want to add insurance? And I'd always think to myself, well, do I want to? Yeah, okay. And sometimes I'd actually be paying out of pocket. So I switched that, and then another lady told me I could do it, flat rate and just save a lot of time, and then I went with that. But what I'm going to be adding to the website through PayPal, not exactly on the website. So this is going to be implied in probably the next month or so. But for now, I think $650 is a fair shipping price for the amount of work that I'm putting into it. So if you're just going to be purchasing a single piece of mesh, you're going to have the opportunity to get it sent at a very low rate. I'm going to have the option so that you can go on PayPal. When you check out, you'll be able to see, you can choose, it'll just have like a little pop down box. You can choose, priority mail, 2 to 3 day, or first class. Now, first class is something that I've always kind of stayed away from because you had to add the tracking, you had to add the insurance if you wanted it, and believe it or not, when they say it's 2 to 3 days, but it can I've sent stuff through first class in the past, and it can actually take up to 5 days. They just don't tell you that, but it's the truth. And I figured to myself, since people order off me, and sometimes with the customs taking a little bit longer to make because they're all handmade and they take a little bit while to dry, as opposed to stuff that I can just coat in white and sell it to you. That's a lot faster and easy to ship out. But there are some people, well, I'd say half of my customers, say, I need it for a game. Can you send it out? And I've always said, well, yeah, sure. Knowing that Priority Mail does a 2 to 3 day guaranteed, and they deliver on weekends, which Saturdays, I went with that. But I'm going to be changing it so that you guys who just want to purchase one piece of mesh, and that's fine. Hey, you just want one, you just want one. It'll be around, I'm not sure, maybe about $4, maybe $4.50. So look for that. And I'll release it on Instagram when it's 100%. I didn't design my website. It was actually, I was thankful that Matt Schiller could help me out with it. He owns Shore Strings, and he's actually a really good guy. He strings up a whole bunch of stuff. He's bought mesh for me in the past, put some of his stuff on the websites. I'm sure you guys have known him. It's Shore Strings on Instagram. Anyways, he's the one that designed my website, and really did a lot of good things with it. And I was very appreciative, and I still am now. So if you're listening to this, Matt, very, very appreciative. Thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without you. But, yeah, so wanted to let you guys know that the shipping will be changing. I'm going to start getting my own supplies, going to be weighing stuff, just going to be doing it a little bit of an upscale sort of way. So you guys know that, obviously, number one, I'm not, ripping anybody off. That was never my intention with anything. It was always actually the opposite, to offer you folks, the highest quality of wax mesh and the highest quality dyes, wax mesh and customs, for a very reasonable price. It's that's just number one important to me. I mean, if it wasn't for my customers, man, I wouldn't have anything. The business is only good as how many customers, your customer base. It's only as good as what you have. And I value you at, I can't even say, over 200%, 100%, 200, 300%. The customers are my everything. So it's sounds kind of corny, but you basically are what DMG stands for. So we're putting that aside. Got some new stuff in, and I got some new stuff on my website. I'm starting to sell gear on there, so I want you to keep tabs on it from time to time. You never know what's going to be on there. Usually if I have something to sell, I'll put it on Instagram first, and maybe I'll make a video. Usually I don't do a dedicated video just for selling stuff. I'll just throw it on my website, throw it on Instagram, because it's going to get enough hits anyway. But for now, I do have a few things. I just recently sold the CEO online about a day ago. That's already boxed up. That's getting sent out tomorrow. A few customs were bought. Those are already boxed up, ready to go. And I have a union right here that's actually on my site, as well as the MLL bag that's way up there, still up there. Probably going to reduce the price on that a little bit so it makes it a little bit more affordable. Not in a rush to sell the bag by any means because it's really cool. But I did see one on Sideline Swap, and I talked to the person who had it. He said he wanted to trade for at least about $130 worth of gear, so it definitely has its value. Plus, it's brand new. So, anyway, I've had this, the Optic High School, and most recently I got my hands on an Optic U, which is pretty cool. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to clean it up, clean the ball bearings up, and send it out for a dye. I've been talking to Kevin Youngs up in the reservation, and with Thompson Lacrosse, excuse me. And he's given me a little bit of insight onto who does a lot of good dye work, and I wanted to get something. I've always wanted to do something with a stick that, implies DMG mesh, and kind of like my own colorways, which I have. I'm a real type of guy that likes blacks, the reds, and I wanted to try to get like my logo going on, like in here. Inside, I wanted to do like an inside out dye where it says, follow me on Instagram, and people could see that, and I could just carry the stick along everywhere I go, which would be pretty cool. And yeah, that's kind of like something that I want to do. But anyway, I put it on the Union just so you guys could see it. But anyway, it's actually, believe it or not, a really great shaft. It's Mavericks' highest end shaft on the market. It actually says Union going around the top. It actually, the grip on it feels just like an old H2, very slick, and it has the removable butt end. Got it on my website for $100, but it's going to be reduced to $85. So check for that. It's got about 85 to 90% of the graphics on it. No dings or dents, just a few little smudges, but I think it's really cool. This little adjustable butt end is kind of funky. I thought it would just be like a gimmick, but kind of actually works. And I do have the tool. Where is that little bastard? Can't find it right now, but I think it's in the other room. Anyways, so yeah, it gives you a few different levels to make sure that it's straight. It has a Maverick logo at the bottom, and as you know, it's a side-tie shaft. So it isn't the replacement of the H2. It's basically what Jordan Wolf, all the Maverick-sponsored MLL pros are using. This is the go-to shaft and the go-to head. Also says dynamic wallpaper. I believe, I'm not 100%, but I almost 80% that what they did is they put extra metal, kind of like what STX did with their OCS. They added it in everywhere, but I think they put it only in spots where it's going to be checked the most, so you resist a lot of dings and dents in places where high traffic areas are going to come into effect. So I think that's cool. So if you want any more information about that, send me an email or PM me. Comes in regular silver. It's got a little cap going on in here, and it's I think it's a great shaft. Really cool. So and the last thing, I wanted to give you guys a tip on stringing the Lyle Thompson replica pocket. I did it with my DMG mesh. I took out the soft, and it just came out wonderful. I got some good news coming in the next couple of months. I'm going to be introducing a new mesh, so stay tuned for that. I know you guys are really going to love it. I can't really say too much about it now, but I know you're going to love it. But yeah, anyways, so I just replaced the sidewalls and strings in this. It's very easy to do. It's, I'll even explain it out to you. You just tie it on the first hole, skip the second entirely, then you do an SI on the third, an SI on the fourth. Normally, like I said, I would bring these down further to get more of a channel, but this is how he did it. So, and his head was strong. So basically the four first 10 diamond rows are SIs, so you can see that. So it's basically goes down to here as far as SIs go, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just a 2 SI, a 2 SI, and then kind of like a 1 wraparound tie around the bottom string, The bottom string is a little funky too. It goes on the next 10 diamond row, as you can see. So you skip, excuse me, is that a 9 diamond or a 10 diamond? Oh, excuse me, that's on the 9 diamond row. So you'd skip 2 diamonds in the middle and then bunch those up and tie it very tight. You leave about a couple centimeters in, and that's how you get the Lyle Thompson pocket. And it works really well. These shooters are placed up very high. I normally don't do this either on my sticks, and I normally don't even use the 10 diamond rows for shooters because it's always been hard for me. But I've always figured a little trick. You can do it unstrung, where you want to place the shooters if you know that you string a lot of sticks, and you say to yourself, well, I'm just always going to use this pattern or always use this. You can pre-lace your shooters before you string the stick, and or what I found was pretty easy was that the first shooter on this stick actually goes around the plastic, goes inside. So if you have a tipped shooting string, it's going to be very easy for you to do the first one. It's up on the first 10 diamond row, which is the 9 diamond top string. Then you have a 10 diamond row, so that's where the first one is. Then you skip one, you go down one, and what I did is, obviously, since there's really on the so much easier to do them on the 9 diamond rows because you can just stick the string right through where my thumb is and get a nice clean straight string. On the 10 diamonds, it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes people start them on the bottom. Sometimes people start. I found it easier to start on the top. It just gave it a little bit more of a cleaner look, and I was able to really fit it in. Most people, instead of doing this, they just wrap it around the sidewalls. I'm kind of against that. I think it just makes the head look kind of ridiculous in a way, but to each his own. Everybody has their own specs, and everybody has their own ways of stringing, I guess. I've went away from using shooter locks, honestly, by using them, and if you tie them tight enough, eventually when you have the ball, it cradles around and just smacks against the plastic, and you just that sound will just irritate you to hell. And I just went away from them. They just kept getting so loose that they just don't work. So shooter locks gone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The S-Nos with the Lyle Thompson replica, and I don't think I really have that much else to talk about other than yeah. Oh, one more thing. Never cease to amaze. Picked up this idea from a friend, and he gave me the idea, which was I always used to clasp these in just like this on my Roman XTs. I thought it gave me a little bit of an advantage, a little bit more protection, but when I saw his gloves, and I saw this in the past too, some people just leave it open, but so what would happen in a game, or what would happen, if they touched and the Velcro just kind of sticks it, kind of reduces the mobility. He wraps a piece, he gave me the idea, kind of wrapped a piece of tape around, I think he does it on both sides, but I just wrapped it on the side that was, what do you call it, the hard side of the Velcro, and it works out good. You can use hockey tape, lacrosse tape, or it doesn't really matter. And when you put the glove on, I'll grab my other one, it makes it a little bit easier as far as mobility goes, and I'll show you why. You don't get more restriction. When you put it on, when you cradle your hand down, your hands can move freely, so you can kind of just go up and down, and when you're going around, you just get a lot more mobility with it, especially when you have the shaft in and you're trying to do a lot of stuff you have doing inside, a lot of cradles and fast rips, stuff like that. It works out really good. As far as gloves, always make sure when you're playing wall ball to use your gloves with the stick. Don't use your hands. Don't use your hands, but if you have the opportunity, use your gloves when you're playing wall ball. It changes the aspect of the game when you're practicing all the time with no gloves, and you go to a game and you put the gloves on, and all of a sudden your shot's off. So use your gloves when you go out to play wall ball. It makes so much sense. I see a lot of kids that don't do this, and I don't know why they don't just wear their gloves. It's very easy, even if it's hot as hell out. You just have gloves on that come with ventilation. So, yeah, use your gloves when you play, no matter what it is. Practice throwing around wall ball. trust me, it'll benefit you when you go into a game because your shot will always be the same. Because I know for a fact when I shoot around without gloves on, I get a different release on every one of my sticks. When I put the gloves on and I shoot, it changes things up. So why would you want to string up a great pocket and it shoots great with your hands and you toss around with it? You're like, oh, this is great. Then you put your gloves on and you go to shoot with it and it's different. Don't want that. So you don't want that. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. I got the shipping is going to be changing soon. You get the Union. That's on my website. All the stuff that people requested is obviously being processed right now, and now you guys know how to do the Lyle Thompson stick. It's going to end up pretty baggy. Not really going to have the most defined channel. I mean, this one's okay, but it's kind of made after a box pocket, I guess you could say. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoy your Sunday. Didn't mean to make got the hiccups with the video so long. So I'm going to end it now, and hopefully you enjoy your weekends. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, always hit me up, dmg1at@gmail.com. Check out my website, www.dmgmesh.bigcartel.com. Shipping prices have been reduced to $6.50 instead of $8. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and that's at dmg18t. So have a good day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.